sponsor.
I know, it takes a long time. You're up.
Good evening and welcome to the Decatur County Fair. It is Friday, and what better place to be than right here. It is open. It's day 2. The rides are rocking and rolling. The food booths are open, and here we are, Josh.
That's right. Good evening, everyone. Emily Versman alongside Joshua Marsh for our first Live at 5, presented by Holzbosch Dairy and sponsored by Cobia Solar on the Vinyl Solutions stage in the Farm and Home Building at the Decatur County 4-H Fairgrounds. While it's not opening day at the fair, it's the opening Friday at the fair.
It is the opening Friday. Now, I've seen the fish line is already going. Boy Scouts have their drinks. There is so much going on. Yesterday already, the goat show has taken place. So hopefully we'll have results on that today. Right now, the swine showmanship along with County Board and Bread has kicked off. So we're excited to have all of those things happening here.
It is. It's a beautiful evening out here, and we couldn't do it without our sponsors tonight: Decatur County REMC, the Overmeyer Agri Group, Decatur County Recycling, the Napoleon State Bank, Stone's Farm Service, George's Pharmacy, Steer Heating and Cooling, the Acra Automotive Group, Kolkmeyer Brothers, and Dave Henderson for Decatur County School Board.
We've had a great sponsorship this year, and so thankful for all of them. Allow us to do this every night and just have a little bit of fun up here.
It is. We're going to talk to a lot of special Decatur County leaders and people that have helped put on the fair again this year. It's always a great annual tradition. Our first guest this evening will be Decatur County Sheriff Bill Myrose. Then we'll talk with Matt Mobley of the Holzbosch Dairy, the Smyrna Guys and Gals, and then New Directions. And then after the show, but still part of the show, this year's a new feature.
We do. We have a new feature. It is our Farmer of the Day, and that is presented by Ethos Insurance, Beth Amrine. And I believe tonight will be the Martin family. So they all work in service, such as the trucks, tractors, any agricultural equipment. So we're excited to have them. We'll have Kayla along with her dad and her uncle is what we're expecting today. So a new feature that we're very excited to have.
It will be, and so that's actually going to be at the end of our show each evening, which will be until 6, as Live at 5 is about an hour long. But also at 6 tonight is when the carnival rides open, and then also at 7 here in the Farm and Home Building, music by the Feldmans will be here too.
It is. And then down in the grandstand tonight, it's a big night for everybody. It's the Star Circuit of Champions TQ Midgets. The gates are open now. The event's going to start at 7. And a big reminder, if you're entering the event, you've got to make sure to go in the new road. So you're going to go in past the rides. New road is down towards the highway department, and that's where you're going to, if you're entering into the race. If you're just going to the pit, you go your normal way and walk right through the gate and pay right there at the gate. So
yeah, so just, I know there's been a lot of discussion about that. If you're going in as an observer, you still go in by the horse barn and down sort of behind the goat building as well. So that hasn't changed, but it is for those that are driving into the pits.
It is. So make sure to utilize that new road if you're going to be an entry into the TQ Midgets tonight. Cost for that pit pass is $30 tonight. Grandstand is $10, and if you're 5 and under, it's free. We've got beautiful weather tonight. It is a little toasty, but you know what? It's county fair time.
That's right. It wouldn't be the fair if it wasn't full of hot weather and then some rain occasionally, and a parade that's about 2 miles uphill that everyone has to jog on Sunday.
You're really excited about it, I can tell.
It's great. I'm going to ask the sheriff after our first break here what the speed is for the parade. There's one correct answer. We'll see if he gets it right.
All right. Well, we will take our first break here from Live at 5 on WTRE. We'll be back with Sheriff Bill Myrose. Good evening and welcome back to the Decatur County Fairgrounds. We are coming to you live at 5 on WTRE. We are joined here tonight with Sheriff Bill Myros, our first guest of the whole fair.
Good evening. I'm happy to be here tonight.
So just in general, let's give the folks some tips about how to keep everyone safe here on the fairgrounds.
Yeah, really the biggest thing for us is there's a lot of foot traffic down by the country club where they're parking, or over by the pool or the bowling alley. A lot of foot traffic from that area if you're walking in. So the biggest thing for us is as you're driving in, please slow down. Please be aware of what's around you, and let's not have any accidents.
I think it's great. You guys have a big presence here at the fairgrounds. You've got your tent set up. I've already seen some of your employees out here. So how does that interaction work for you guys?
We're really just walking around talking to people, letting them know we're here in case there is a problem. They know where to get a hold of us, and we can address that problem.
All right, now Mayor Marsh, you had a question for the sheriff about the parade.
I did. So obviously the sheriff leads the parade each year. So what is the appropriate speed for a parade to traverse?
Well, for me, since I'm going to be in an air-conditioned car,
Yeah.
it's really going to be comfortable for me. I'm not so much concerned about the people behind me. You know? No, all kidding aside, the proper speed.
Everyone's behind you, by the way.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy the day. The proper speed is 2 miles an hour. So in the past, I've never taken my foot off the brake the whole parade route. So I don't want to get too fast because I've walked this parade in the past myself. I understand, and it's not uphill all the way, but it is most of the way.
Yeah. When it's 100 out, it seems like it's uphill
Right.
all the way.
Right.
And yes, 2 mile an hour is the appropriate speed for a parade. So we look forward to that. All jokes aside, it's always a huge event, and your team helps with that. I know the GPD team helps with that. What kind of preparation does your team do? And there's a parade route change this year that people need to be aware of.
Yeah, there is a parade route change, and that's what we're trying to prepare for. When we get to the top of the hill this year, we're not going into the fairgrounds. When you get to the top of the hill, you're either going to turn right to go back towards Main Street if you're going to go back to the start location, or if you want to disband, we're going to ask that you turn left, head down towards the new county highway garage, and disband down there. So if you decide to turn left to go disband, we're going to ask you to keep moving because we don't want to get congested in that area.
And then there's been a lot of discussion about the route changing over the last couple of years, and we saw some maybe potential safety concerns with that last year. Is that really the driving force behind bringing it through the fairgrounds?
Yeah, I believe so. Getting semis, big trucks through the fairgrounds can be a little dicey, again, because of the huge crowd. So again, as a safety factor, just keep them out of there, keep them on the main road.
And so that's going to step off at 3 o'clock, make its way down here. It should be down here probably 3:30, 3:45. So we definitely want people in down here before then, but also the road's going to close earlier than that.
Correct. We're going to close off that road probably 2:45, 2:50, somewhere in there. So no traffic going back eastbound towards town. So yeah, we'll shut traffic down for the parade.
And
Go ahead.
So changing topics a little bit, you talked about pedestrian safety here around the fairgrounds. There's also a lot of traffic happening later at evening around our community. Is there some advice you give for people maybe at home, or if they're leaving to come out to the fair, what to be looking for, or be cognizant of it at home too?
Well, again, it's the same thing as the foot traffic. Be aware of the foot traffic because as it gets dark, we've got little kids who are going to dart in and out of traffic or in and out the road. So again, the big thing is just please be cognizant of what's around you.
Now, coming out as a family, if you brought your kids out, what are some of those tips of keeping your family together? If they get split up, what do you advise people to do?
Yeah, if you're a family coming out, have a rally point, if you will. If somebody gets lost, tell them here's where we're going to meet, so everybody can go to that location and meet back up. Or if you're not sure of that location, please come see us at the Sheriff's Department, and we'll help accommodate that reunion.
I think it's always important too to remind people to have a very current picture of your kids, so that if you can't find them, then that helps the rest of us look for them.
Even as current as take the picture when you get to the fairgrounds tonight, so we know what your kids are wearing, so we know specifically what to look for.
All right. Any other thoughts from the Sheriff's Department?
That's a big thing. Just come on out and have a good time, eat some good food, and enjoy the evening.
So we have to know before we wrap up, what is the Sheriff's favorite fair food?
Don't put me in a spot like that. Come on. It's either Let's Fish, which was last night, Pork Burger at Smyrna, or Stacy Beaver's Tenderloins. Those are my three favorites.
Okay, those are your tops. Are we going to see you on a ride out there this year?
Probably not in uniform.
Okay.
Are you going to bring the grandkids?
Grandkids will be here Sunday, yes.
Perfect. Are they going to ride in the parade with you?
They are going to ride in the parade.
There we go. That's a great benefit, right?
It is a benefit, yes.
Well, fantastic. Well, appreciate the time, Sheriff Myros. Anything else you want people to know before you step off the stage and get back to work here at the fairgrounds?
Again, just stay hydrated tonight because it is a little muggy. Stay hydrated and just come on out and have a good time.
All right. Thank you again for joining us. We so appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Again, we want to say a big thanks to our sponsors, Decatur County REMC, Obermeyer Agri Group, Decatur County Recycling, the Napoleon State Bank, Stone's Farm Service, George's Pharmacy, Steer Heating and Cooling, Agra Automotive Group, Hokelmeyer Brothers, and Dave Henderson for Decatur County School Board.
Perfect. We're going to take a quick short break, and then we will be joined by Matt Mobley, who's representing the with the Holzbosch Dairy here on the stage, powered by Cobia Solar and brought to you by Vinyl Solutions. We're excited to have Matt. He's going to talk a little bit about 4-H and ag in Decatur County, and then also probably give us a couple fun facts about the dairy. They're a big sponsor of the Live at 5 this year, and we're excited to have Matt join us. So again, thanks, Sheriff, and thanks to all your deputies who help us out across the community every night, and especially out here at the fair. And so with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we will send it to commercial and be back in about 2 to 3 minutes.
I know, but I was never educated to the 101 of it, you know. You grew up in it.
Yeah, but like even I didn't. I didn't take typing until like 8th grade. 8th grade was my first typing class, which I think was a little delayed. I don't think that was the norm.
The typing's not bothering me. It's
The actual
navigating some of this, and it seems as if there's just about a totally different dialect or language
Yeah.
in some of the.
yes.
Ready? Okay. Well, welcome back to the Decatur County 4-H Fairgrounds. I'm Joshua Marsh along with Emily Versman, for our first night of Live at 5 from the Decatur County 4-H Fair. But we are in night 2 of the fair, which is Friday evening. It's beautiful, and crowds are starting to pick up as well.
They are. It's a great place to be. Come on out and join us. We are coming to you live at 5, brought to you by Whole Squash Dairy, and we are coming to you powered by Cobia Solar, courtesy of the Vinyl Solutions stage. So a lot of support this year, and we appreciate everybody for that. A lot of good things going on here at the fairgrounds. Now, we are joined this evening by Matt Mobley. Now, Matt, what part do you play at the dairy?
I'm their public relations director. I take care of all their tours, all their public meetings, charity events, things of that nature. We're really opening up a transparent opportunity for the community to come and physically walk through our dairy and see it firsthand, on site, all the different day-to-day operations that we do there.
You know, I took that tour last year, and it was amazing to me. We farm beef cattle, but we don't do dairy. And just being exposed to the technology that you guys are able to use on those cattle is amazing to me.
Some of the newest and fastest growth in technology is within the dairy industry itself, either with innovations. We have now an innovation that allows us to reclaim plus 95% or more sand that we use in our dairy farm. We reuse our water up to 7 times. Technology has allowed us to give independent health care, proactive health care to each of the 8,000 cows that we house out at the dairy.
Now, you guys do milk on a 24-hour, do you want to call it a carousel? Is that the right term?
Our new, we have a parallel parlor. We milk 192 cows at a time. It takes an average of 6 to 7.5 minutes.
So in a day, how much milk is produced at the dairy?
Anywhere between 12 to 14 transport trailer loads, each load carrying somewhere between 61 to 6,200 gallons.
And that transport, do you guys have a certain contract with the location that it goes?
The current milk is going to Winchester, Kentucky, to a processing plant that does a lot of processing for Kroger's milk, and they service the southern Indiana and northern Kentucky area. And one of the neatest things about, because we are so close to our processor, this processor has promised this milk on shelf within 48 hours of being produced at the dairy.
So when the milk leaves the facility, it's not consumable yet, or is it? And it just goes through a process?
It is not pasteurized yet, so it has to go through that process.
And is that, so that happens at the facility you send it to, they bottle it, cap it, and send it to stores?
Yes.
And so that 48 hours from when it leaves to on shelf goes through that process in Kentucky? And
we chill it. We chill it down to a transportable temperature of around 35, 36, 37 degrees. And by the time it reaches Winchester, it is still within 1 degree of that target.
And so what's something, you mentioned tours, that's something that people can do with you, or is that through an organized process?
No, you can set those up with us. You can reach out to us at HDF Public Relations @gmail.com.
Okay.
Or I can be reached at 812-614-5288.
Okay, and I'm sure the WTRE crew can help put you in contact with that too. Now, something else that you guys do a lot of is work with the youth and support ag and 4-H. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
We are truly reaching out to the community and the educators in the community, not just the school educators, but those in the extension office as well. We're offering tours and opportunities to help enhance their programs. We host the Area 1 and Area 2 dairy judging contest. We do a lot of tours for the FFA and a lot of educational opportunities for the youth around the community. And we also have just starting a youth work program where those interested in this industry can come out and maybe get their toes wet and see what they think about this industry and maybe pursuing this as a career. Because in today's modern farms, no longer do you take a pitchfork to work. A lot of them carry a computer.
Right.
We're analysts and economists and nutritionists, veterinarians. There's every walk of professional life, occupational life is just about available at a large modern day farm.
How did you get involved initially when you started with the dairy? How did that come about for you?
I was an outside contractor for them. I worked for them about 3 years. I recognized the quality of work that they did and the stewardship that they put into everything that they do. Even as a contractor, I felt that type of response from them as a family. And the more I got to know them, the more I realized this: if we're going to have dairies and big farms, these are the kind of people you want doing it. And I'm proud that they give me the privilege to represent them in the public. They are very easy to represent. They're great people.
So tell us a little bit about your history in agriculture.
My family has a farm over in Decatur County. We raise beef cattle. Our farm was granted to us by President Andrew Jackson in 1835. My brother still has a parchment paper in which that grant was written on. We still maintain and farm that very land. So my history is rich in the community, and we've raised livestock for generations. So I'm by no means an expert, but I've had my share of kicks and thumps from the cattle. So, and it translates real well into the dairy industry, somewhat, although that's so more technical than I am. But
It's the beef cattle and the dairy cattle have a significant difference in them, and that's a big adjustment. I was having that conversation earlier. Someone said, "Well, the cow is more hippie, has more hip bones." I said, "Well, then that's more of a dairy cow than a beef cow."
yes, yes. But one of the things that the innovations that take place in our dairy industry now, because we can sex semen, we're no longer breeding across the board. If we want 50 calves to be returned calves to the dairy, we can sex that semen given to that cow to ensure that she has a heifer. The ones that we necessarily don't need to come back, we breed with an Angus cross semen so that that calf offspring has a beef quality to it, because that's the intended life of that calf, is to go to the beef market.
Am I remembering right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you send some cattle out to Kansas, some of the calves, or out west?
Our genetic calves we keep in-house in our hut village, which is north of our dairy. We have about 500 huts, and we raise them there till roughly 70 to 90 days of age. They go out to Kansas, out to a growing facility out there. It's nice and dry, a great climate, and they raise them up to 2 years of age, returning them 7 months pregnant, ready to go into their life cycle at the dairy.
Okay. Well, Matt, we appreciate it. You're going to join us a couple more times this week as we talk about ag and continued innovation in Decatur County. So we look forward to that conversation. You've given us a lot of great fun facts this evening, and I couldn't agree with your sentiment more. I've had the privilege to know the Holzbosches since we were all little, and all three of the boys were in school with me as well. So I always appreciate the team that they put together and the work that they do in our community. And we're so glad to have their support for not only this show, but for our community, and to have folks like you representing them means a lot for us. So Matt, thanks for joining us this evening. You'll be back tomorrow. I think we're going to try to talk a little bit more about that judging that you do with the FFA and the 4-H kids out at the farm and what that looks like. And if somebody asks me a question between now or then about the dairy, I'll be sure we get it answered tomorrow. So with that, we're going to take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back from live at 5 here on the Vinyl Solutions stage, which is powered by Cobia Solar and presented by Holzbosch Dairy. And good evening. Jerry presents the Live at 5, powered by Cobia Solar on the Vinyl Solution stage, and right here in person on YouTube and on WTRE 1330 and 104.3 FM. We have our next round of guests. So Emily, why don't you take it away?
We do. Good evening. We're joined by the Smyrna guys and gals. Is this correct?
That is correct.
All right. So Amanda, tell us your role with this group.
So myself and Michelle Holtkamp are the leaders for the club, the adult leaders.
Okay. And then you brought some 4-H'ers along with us.
I did. I brought our variety pack for tonight.
All right. Let's hear who we've got.
I'm Claire Mang, and I am a first-year 4-H'er, and I am Swifty. I am Nora Mang, and I am a first-year mini 4-H'er.
My name is Alex Tebby, and I am 9 years into normal 4-H, about to go into my 10th year.
So Alex, we'll start with you since you've already got the mic. What's kept you in 4-H and what's kept you a part of the Smyrna guys and gals for 9 years?
Parents.
Oh, well, surely there's more to it than that.
What are some of the projects that you take?
I do wildlife poster, and I try to get a Lego in every now and then, but sometimes time constraints are iffy.
So what'd you submit this year then?
I submitted a wildlife poster that got Reserve Grand Champion, and I submitted a fine art little watercolor that got blue.
So what is something that you take away from 4-H after being in it 9 years? What is something that you find is important in being a part of 4-H?
I mean, it gets the kids to be creative and thinking about projects of what to make, especially if you do something other than animals, because animals is pretty simple. Besides having to care for the animal, you just show the animal. That's first doing something other than animal. You have to think about what you want to make and then make it to the restraints and all that.
All right. Now, Claire, we'll pass the mic to you. You're a first-year 4-H member. So what projects did you take this year?
I took genealogy, which I got a grand champion and selected for state fair. And then I had cake, which was blue and honor group. And then I did sewing, which had a blue and a division champion. And then for my arts and crafts, I did a latch hook and reserved for division.
And can you tell me what you enjoyed about 4-H the most this year?
Well, I enjoyed most about 4-H is that you always get to learn something new from the projects, and you don't just keep the knowledge from that year, you get more knowledge every single year.
All right, I'm going to have you pass it to your sister. And it was your first year in mini 4-H, right?
Yes.
What projects did you do this year?
I did sewing, and I did arts and crafts and gardening.
And what did you like the most about doing your projects?
The fun that I had making them.
Well,
Very good.
Yeah, that's perfect. So Amanda, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Smyrna guys and gals and when you meet and what you do and what the group does outside of the fair and before and after?
Right. So we're a very active club. We meet on the third Tuesday of every month from October through May. We take March off for spring break. We meet at 6:30 at the Smyrna Lutheran Church. They host us there at their church. We usually try to do something community service related every month. So whether it be, working this year, we had a booth at the Trunk or Treat at the Humane Society. We did the Millhausen Fish Fry. We did bingo over at the Willows, to collecting stocks for the kids' closet. So we always do something related to community service. And that's, I think, something that sets us a little bit apart from some of the other groups. We have a wide variety of ages, as you can see from my hodgepodge here. That it's nice to see the older kids help mentor the younger kids and see what the projects and aspects and skills that they can develop through the years of 4-H.
How did you get in 4-H? Did you grow up in 4-H?
I did not. I know nothing about 4-H. I just pretend I do. So my husband is from Decatur County, and he was in 4-H. So our club actually has second and third generation members in it. So my husband and his siblings were members of this club. Michelle's dad, and then her and her sister, and now their kids are all in it. So we have second and third generation members. So it was one of those things I knew my kids would be involved in it. And as an athletic trainer, I do miss a lot of my kids' things. So I decided to step up in this role because I knew it was something all of my kids would do. And so I could be there for them for this, at least this one thing.
So as you guys are here throughout the fair, what does Fair Week look like for you guys?
For us, it's a very busy week, especially at the beginning, because we do have a lot more members that do static projects than animals, but we still also have a lot of animal friends too. So we have friends that are here all week with their animals. We have people rushing to get those projects done and sheets signed and everything at the beginning of the week. And then we all volunteer at the Smyrna food booth. So when you're hungry, come see all of us because we're here every night.
Now you, as Fair Week, we're in full swing. What if someone decides, hey, I'd like to give 4-H a try? How can they get a hold of you guys to maybe talk about your club?
So most people can find me because I'm everywhere, being the athletic trainer and working at the hospital. So reach out to me. Feel free to. We do have a Facebook group, but it is private invite. So send me a message. We'll be happy to get you the information. I really just encourage kids that it's an avenue to learn really life skills. Like, yes, they made a project and yes, they made a poster, but they learn how to do talking in front of judges. They learn how to finish something from beginning to end, how to plan something, how to set goals. There's a lot more to it than just a project here and there.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys being here with us tonight. Yeah. We have to know, though, before we let you go, everybody ready? What's your favorite fair food?
My favorite fair food is probably Smyrna milkshakes. Corn dogs.
Corn dogs. I'm with you.
The double bacon donut burger down at Cornerstone.
Oh, good choice.
And I'm going to have to go with the strawberry shortcake.
Also a good choice.
A great mix there as well.
We have a meal, right?
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
So thanks for being here with us. Thanks for being an active partner in our communities. And thanks for working with the Smyrna Food Booth. I know that they raise a lot of great money every year that helps grow that organization and keeps everybody moving
For sure.
forward.
And they have a new product this year, a Tennessee cherry bratwurst. So if you want something a little different. And the shakes are still here, so I'm supposed to say that.
There we go.
The shakes are important.
They
On a day like today, we all need it.
Exactly.
That's right.
Well, thank you guys for being here. We want to thank our sponsors for allowing us to be here as well. Decatur County REMC, Obermeyer Agri Group, Decatur County Recycling, the Napoleon State Bank, Stone's Farm Service, George's Pharmacy, Steer Heating and Cooling, Acre Automotive Group, Kokemeyer Brothers, and Dave Henderson for Decatur County School Board. We'll take our 2-minute break and we'll be back with New Directions on Tree Country 1330. Welcome back to the Decatur County Fair on a Friday night, brought to you where Ultra Pulse Dairy brings you live at 5 on WTRE, powered by Covia Solar, live from the Final Solutions stage.
So we're only 20 minutes away from the Midway opening this evening, which is great. We're about an hour and 20 minutes away from the track event tonight, which is...
It is the TQ midget races tonight.
So that should be a lot of fun. Gates are already open for that if you want to participate. Pit passes are $30, the grandstands are $10, 5 and under is free. So there's a lot of great stuff over there. Of course, all the buildings are open, the projects are here, the animals are here, and the heat is here as well.
The heat came in today. I mean, it was perfect timing, just as we ordered. It arrived.
That's right, just on time for the fair. So we're excited to have that. Our next guest is Kelly Wampler with the New Directions. And Kelly, why don't you just tell us a little bit? I know New Directions continues to gain a lot of notoriety, but why don't you just tell us a little bit in case there's somebody that doesn't know?
Absolutely. We are a women's domestic violence shelter that also services men, women, and children. We do offer emergency safe housing. We service Decatur and surrounding counties, primarily Decatur County, but our primary focus is anything DV related.
So I love you brought the tradition year after year of the dunk tank now.
Yes.
And so you have got a lineup of all lineups. I still think one year, I think you should.
I did do it one year. Just so
Did
we're
you,
clear.
Josh?
I did.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I've been around for a long
Check
time.
your records. I did do it.
It's
one year.
probably
Okay.
time for him to come back around. Let's just put him on the list for
Well,
next year.
I like to keep Josh on my good side, so I just smile and pretend we have a full lineup, and I would never even need him to
It's
be
okay.
in
I'll
it,
break
right?
it.
Right.
It's okay. So tell us some of the folks that are in your lineup.
Oh goodness. So I always start with the loudest, most obnoxious people because they get the most notoriety, right? So Chris Stevens and Wayne Davis are both in there on parade day.
Okay.
So they're a total blast in there, and they love to razz people. Last night, our first guest of the evening in the coldest water, of course, because it was straight out of the hose and it was raining and cold, was Nicole Stone. So tonight, I didn't even look at our lineup. I am a terrible person right now for not knowing who all is in there.
I think something fun you guys have added this year is you have the board out front, right?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
shows you who's on the lineup, which is, I think, great because that may encourage someone to come back. And then it
At a
also
different
shows
time.
you how much money they've raised.
Yes. Because, well, this used to be where we would only take money, like you could only donate to that person when they were in the tank. So we made it a friendly competition starting a few years ago. So there's a trophy involved and everything. So we did start keeping that runner board, and people take their donations. They started collecting ahead of time. So last night in the dunk tank in 3 hours, we raised about $800 because Tony Blodgett was in there and he came loaded with, his donations, and everybody's out for that trophy. So
and it's like a serious competition.
Oh, for real.
It's a great dunk tank, but these people take it seriously.
That trophy's legit, man. We don't mess around. I mean, I know Chris Woolley's in there. He's gunning for the trophy. Tony was gunning for the trophy. Samantha Baldwin is in there. Charity Wilder. So Logan has historically gotten that a couple times. So there's an opportunity to dunk a large variety of people. We did try to load that up. So since I am failing to recall every important person who's in there, run by our booth, there is the board there, and there is a printout too that says what day has each individual in there.
Now you also have, I saw Grace out earlier. She kind of works with the youth.
Absolutely.
And you guys have a new little, it's a goose chase.
Right. So it was Visit Greensburg did a goose chase. And so the kids loved that idea. A lot of them took part in that, and they wanted to do a goose chase for the week of the fair. So they've involved a lot of questions about how do you respond to a friend who might be in an abusive relationship? Do you know the signs of a healthy relationship? So they generated a goose chase, which is an online scavenger hunt that just takes place here right at the fair. Like visit your favorite food vendor, take a photo, and can you answer a question about healthy relationships? So it's all in there, and they have prizes and just trying to get kids involved. And of course, any age can take part in that.
All right. Now you also have fuzz tops. Everyone loves fuzz tops.
Yes.
And I heard last night, great turnout.
We had our spurts around the rain. We had our loyal fair visitors that joined us, and it was good for us.
All right. You guys are open and ready to serve today.
We are serving every day, starting at 10:30, 11.
And is Brindley baking this year?
She has.
Okay.
She's baked.
You just never know what you're going to find.
You don't know, and it depends on what kind of mood she's in, what kind of dessert you're going to get. But
we love it all. She doesn't bake anything that's not good.
That's right. So Kelly, of course, we ask everybody, but what's your favorite fair food? And yes, you are allowed to be biased.
I am biased because I will only visit the local vendor. So I'm not a normal fair, like I don't care about the corn dogs and stuff like that, but I do like the tenderloins and the variety that's all around. But my favorite are the pork tacos.
The pork
from
tacos.
Fuzz Tops, yes.
I was having a hankering for those last week. I was like, it's coming. We're days away.
You're there. We're ready to go. We got the tacos.
Very good.
Okay, and Kelly, before we let you go, if somebody does want to get a hold of New Directions, how do they do that?
The best way is just to give us a call. We're available 24/7, 812-662-8223.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you,
We
guys.
appreciate it. And we will take a 2-minute break, and we come back. Josh and I will wrap up a little bit, and then we'll have our first segment of the Farmer of the Day, brought to you by Ethos Insurance. Beth Amrine. We'll be back on Tree Country 1330.
Good evening and welcome back to the Holzbosch Dairy presents the Live at 5 on WTRE, powered by Cobia Solar and live from the Vinyl Solutions stage. I'm Joshua Marsh along with Emily Versman on our first night of wrap-up. So tonight, of course, at 7, the grandstand event starts. 6 o'clock is when the rides open. And then right here on the home and farm building stage, we've got the music by the Feldmans that start at 7. So that's a lot that's going on this evening, and there's a lot going on tomorrow, too.
There is. So as we move into tomorrow, the Horse and Pony Show will kick off at 9 o'clock. The Rabbit Show at 9 a.m. as well. The Gilt and Barrow Swine Show starts at 10. 4-H buildings will open at 1 o'clock tomorrow, as well as the open class. But the big announcement, it's the baby show tomorrow morning, kicks off at 8:45. You do have to pre-register, so if you have not done so yet, you can do so, but the cost is now $10. And then tomorrow night, it will be a big night in the grandstand. It is the Demo Derby. That'll start at 7 o'clock. The gates will open at 4 o'clock. So much to look forward to. Josh, we've had a great first night.
The first night's been great, a great lineup of guests. We're going to have more tomorrow, so you'll have to tune in to see who that is.
That's right. We do want to thank tonight Bill Myros, Matt Mobley, Smyrna Guys and Girls, and New Directions all for joining us. And you're going to go ride a ride after this, right?
I have to get back to my other job, I think.
You think so?
I do, yeah.
The elephants are out there waiting. I've seen them.
They are waiting. So we couldn't do it without our sponsors, the Decatur County REMC, the Overmeyer Agri Group, Decatur County Recycling, the Napoleon State Bank, Stone's Farm Service, George's Pharmacy, Steer Heating and Cooling, the Acre Automotive Group, Kochmeyer Brothers, and Dave Henderson for Decatur County School Board.
All right, we're going to send it over to Kathy, who's joined by Caleb Martin. And this is our first segment of this program. It is our Farmer of the Day. So we'll send it away. Brought to you by Ethos Insurance, Beth Amrine.
All right, everybody, you're here at the Decatur County Fair. Big thank you for joining us. Farmer of the Day, and that's brought to you by Ethos Insurance and its agent, Beth Amrine. My Farmer of the Day is Kayla Martin.
How are you, Kathy?
I'm good. It's nice to have you here with me. So Kayla, I've thought about, I look at everybody in our county. We've got so many families, but the roots in Decatur County are so deep into agriculture. And so let's talk a little bit about you, because you and I were just a minute ago talking. There's actually, we've got with your little daughter, Mary.
We got 4 generations now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it started with Grandpa Bud, then Dad and Uncle Fred, and me and Mary.
All right, so let's talk a little bit. I tell you what got me was seeing your dad in the picture with Mary on the tractor. How cool.
Yeah.
So you've grown up in it, like you said, a family that has farm. Tell me a little bit about time spent with Grandpa and Dad and your uncle.
Well, I spent most of the time with Uncle Red and Dad. Dad's always, you're learning something red, Well, I always told Grandpa liked green. That's where I went, green. I'm opposite.
Stirred the family a little.
Yeah. Young age, Dad said, you're coming to the tractor shed. So I went to the tractor shed every night with Dad, come home, greased up, ready to take a shower, eat dinner, and go to bed.
Uh-huh.
But it's just something that Dad wanted a boy, and he got me.
So he's got you. He made it work for
That's
him,
right.
But and you got to have it. It's got to be in your roots to love it,
Yes,
right?
it is. 100%.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what your job is now, your career that you've chosen, and you're very involved with the Power of the Past too.
Yes, I am. So I work now at Miller Equipment, service manager. A long time ago, after graduation, Dad got me a job at John Deere. Now that would have liked to killed him. Mom hated it. Mom didn't want me to help farmers. She said, farmers are mean. You don't want to do that. Growing up around them, they're fine. I can handle it,
Depends on the weather,
That's
right?
Yeah. And I went from parts to service, and I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I can deal with those guys all day long. I love it. The guys come in. I had one today with Baylor issues, and you won't know. Try it. I'll tell you right now.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
talked to him. It's just something I grew up wanting to be like Dad.
Uh-huh.
I followed in Dad's footsteps. It's what I wanted to do. It's what I did.
So Kayla, when you were small, like you said, you went to the tractor shed and all that, but as you've got such a vast array of knowledge, is that just what you have learned and picked up along the way?
Yeah, Dad, when starting young, when he was doing something, he explained it. He didn't just do it, let me watch. I would do it. He'd explain why we're doing it. Driving down the road, we'd see a tractor. Oh, that's a 1940, and tell me exactly what it is. And Dad's got books. He's got tons of books. Here, read this.
Yeah. So you really had quite an education
Yes, I
right
did.
at home.
Yeah.
So as you continue this career path, like we said, here's generations that have been so involved in agriculture. So Mary's riding the tractor now, right?
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
Yeah.
loves it. And of course, she likes those John Deere's better than she does those red ones. That's my girl. But she's going to follow in the same path. I know
Yeah.
she will.
Yeah.
If she doesn't, I won't push her, but I know she's going to.
Give her the opportunity.
That's right.
Yeah. Tell us about your role in the Power of the Past, because you literally grew up there, but you have kind of stepped into a little
Yes.
bit of some leadership
So,
roles there.
in 27 years, I've been there every day. And,
Yes.
I've never missed a day. 2 years ago, I officially joined the board. I started out with basically like a junior leaders. I started a junior board,
Mhm.
and we got that going. Then I joined the big board. Right now, I'm in charge of the auction. One day, maybe I want to be president, but we'll talk about that later on.
Sure. And your dad's been since day one.
Oh, yeah.
And your mom, she works side by side with you guys. But I'm always amazed at, and I tell this to your dad and to Tom and the guys, how they have, it's just precise. They have everything
It's down
down.
to fine art.
Absolutely. And they have even what day they need to do what to make it all
We
happen.
got scheduled.
So
Everything's scheduled.
yeah, I can't imagine your dad being comfortable handing it to anybody but you. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, you are awesome. Thank you
you.
for being our farmer of the day.
Thanks.
And we love to see those family pictures. So
Oh, yeah.
keep those
I
coming
will.
and keep Mary on that tractor.
I sure will.
All right, Kayla. Thank you.
Thank you.